about to discuss a topic here about who is least desirable when it comes to dating. Specifically, this is going to focus on women. So let's just get to it. Least desirable, how racial discrimination plays out in online dating. So we're going to look at this little excerpt here. It says in 2014, excuse me, user data on Ok Cupid showed that most men on the site rated black women as less attractive than women of other races and ethnicities. Wow. Are you kidding me? So I'm going to try to keep going through it so I can make my point. So please bear with me. It says that resonated with Ari Curtis, 28, and inspired her blog Least Desirable. Man, this is painful, right? I'm gonna explain to you why. So let's see. They say it was really disheartening. He says, okay, that's somebody else. Hold on. Let's keep going, because I'm focused on the sisters here now. This is nonsense. Okay, let's read this part. Jason says he faced it and thought about it quite a bit, so he wasn't surprised when he read a blog post from OK Cupid co-founder Christian Rudder in 2014 about race and attraction. All right, here we go. Rudder wrote, so in other words, I guess this is the founder of OK Cupid. Rudder wrote that user data showed that most men on the site rated black women as less attractive than women of other races and ethnicities. Similarly, Asian men fell at the bottom of the preference list for most women. All right, so I'm not really concerned about Asian men's self-esteem here. I'm focused on the black women and their self-esteem. So I'm just telling you straight out, as a so-called black man, I'm saying that because I'm an Israelite, or at least a Moor, right? We can at least say African if you just want to make it plain, right? Black is a color, not a nationality. But for simplicity, I'm a so-called black man. And I'm telling you right now that this is foolery and garbage. But let's continue. We're going to see how much we think of the OK Cupid site ratings, right? We're going to see how much we think of that. Least desirable. The 2014 OK Cupid data resonated so much with 28-year-old Ari Curtis that she used it as the basis of her blog, Least Desirable, about dating as a black woman. My goal, she wrote, is to share stories of what it means to be a minority, not in the abstract, but in the awkward, exhilarating, exhausting, devastating, and occasionally amusing, reality that is the pursuit of love. So I guess that's the author of that blog. Let's see. Yeah, that's her. All right, now. Curtis works in marketing in New York City and says that although she loves how open-minded most people in the city are, she didn't always find that quality in dates she started meeting online. So I want any sisters, but also brothers, all our people, just pay attention to this. She says, after drinks at a Brooklyn bar, one of her more recent OK Cupid matches, a white Jewish man, you see, offered this. He was like, oh yeah, my family would never approve of you. You can't make this up. Curtis explains, yeah, because I'm black. I'm here to tell her, no, you're probably the Jew. You understand? You're probably an Israelite. But at least, oh, man. Anyway, let me just keep going because they love to label people as anti certain things whenever you speak against certain people, even if they deserve it, right? Curtis describes meeting another white man on Tinder who brought the weight of damaging racial stereotypes to their date. He was like, oh, so we have to bring the hood out of you, bring the ghetto out of you. Curtis recounts, it made me feel like I wasn't enough. Who I am wasn't what he expected, and that he wanted me to be somebody else based on my race. So there's a little bit more in here, but basically, people taking this OK Cupid sample or data, right? And some sisters may be secretly or unknowingly taking this to heart. So I just want to let you know that that is complete BS. You are not the least desirable to us, right? Meaning, quote unquote, black men in this society, right here in this United States of America. Though some brothers may foolishly speak that way, and a few fools may actually feel that way, but they do not speak for the majority of us, right? We may have disagreements about certain things, and that's okay. Any ethnicity or nationality of people can have disagreements. But to say that you're the least desirable, let me make it plain. I don't give a damn if these other men on the site are white Jewish man. Are you kidding me? We don't give a damn if he thinks you're desirable. He doesn't need to desire you. But maybe if some of your men could get some of the access to the capital, which he makes sure they have in the suburbs he lives in right outside of the black city, we might have to talk in private about why he's has so much access to capital and you don't, because you don't want to be called anti somebody. You understand what I'm saying? Madness. Let's continue. Just a moment. All right. So now here we are at this article about least desirable. All right. Ari Curtis, the sister we just saw in that image. She's mentioned in the 2014 Christian Rudder of OK Cupid published, some data on who we are, what we think. Let me see. Let's go on down. NPR. Let me zoom in some so you can see this clearly, even if you're on a small device. All right, hopefully you can see that. So, quote, all the data on race I have is from dating sites, Rudder said in an NPR interview. But on these sites, for black users especially, there's a bias against them. You don't say. In fact, the strongest biases in heterosexual dating preferences were against black women and Asian men. It says, well, they'll show it larger here. Black women receive 25% fewer first messages on OK Cupid than women of all other ethnicities. All right, so here we go. I'm not going to get into some of the harmful or hateful reasons why people might say that this is true. And I do know, right? Because I mentioned in a recent video that I think a lot of our sisters secretly hate us. However, I also think there's a lot of our sisters who we never hear about who love us. But because they may tend to be more quiet or more reserved or more busy maintaining their own lives, we might not hear from them as often. So I'm going to prove to you all with some scientific data of my own and plus my own opinion as a quote unquote black man in the United States that black women are not the least desirable, but it depends on who you ask. If you ask a racist or a so-called white supremacist, you might be the least desirable. Ironically, they did not mind raping you and sexualizing you for hundreds of years while pretending that you are undesirable. You can't make this stuff up. To most, this was a provocative tidbit to be retweeted and forgotten within days. But for black women like me, this is life. So this is what the sister's saying. The data are mere tidy representations of a messy existence. And while I'm a big fan of big data, the good stuff begins where the data ends. All right, so let's get to it. I just wanted to read some of that so you can see what some sisters are saying or how they're feeling. You know what? Let me go to one more sister's article, right? Because I definitely wanted to read something about how they're feeling, how this affects them. Then I'm going to tell you how I feel about it and how I think a whole lot of brothers, right, who are honest or who are grown men. We're not talking about boys who color struck, who think that human beings are crayons, all right? So just a moment. Okay, so now we are looking at an image of a sister named Ebony M. Smith, all right? She is a student at Harvard University. I think she's in pre-law. We're gonna look at that next. But anyway, this is a beautiful sister, obviously, right? And just as a side note, if you don't think so, if you have something negative to say about this sister or the other sister I showed, don't put that in my comments, all right? Because I will respond to you, and whatever you bring, whatever energy you bring, it shall be returned to you. So if you don't have anything positive or at least intelligent to say, don't share it, because I'm going to return to you the energy that you give. So whatever energy you give off, I'm going to bring it back. Do not insult this sister or any other sisters I showed on here, right? So my opinion, which I do believe is a fact across many men's minds and beliefs, is that sisters such as this are beautiful, right? Whether she's your type or not is a totally different thing. We're not talking about your type, just in general. This is a beautiful sister. Now, just a moment. Okay, so I just showed you the sister's image larger. So this is Ebony Smith, but I want you to see here, she is an editorial writer, right? Let me zoom in on that. Then we're gonna pull up her article. She is an editorial writer for the Harvard Crimson, Harvard Government and African American Studies AB candidate, 24, all right? Senior representative for the Association of Black Harvard Women, all right? Just a moment again. All right, so now we are looking at this article which she wrote called Society Thinks Black Girls Are Ugly, right? At the Harvard Crimson. Let's see what she wrote. Ebony M. Smith, all right. She wrote this in February of 2022. She said, I never knew that I was ugly, or at least that white society thought so. That's your key indicator right there. Although I still find it hypocritical, right, based on what they did to our women during slavery, and quite frankly after that. How that they were able to rape our women and get them pregnant, and the woman could not even sue for child support the white man who raped her because she was not viewed as a human being yet. You can't make this stuff up. Growing up, I had never felt more invisible. My middle school years were defined by excessive in-school suspensions and meetings in the principal's office. I was a straight A student in a public charter school, but that was impossible to see when my behavior was always defined for me. I was not a troublesome student. In fact, I enjoyed following the rules, right? Let me just skip on down some. Just stay with me. I just want to read at least some of this. I know this can get a little long. Here we go. I was hyper visible, an unfortunate symptom of my ugliness. Wow. I was always being watched. So I sat there alone, awaiting a punishment that I knew would be too strict. What I did not realize was that the coming of age process for black girls had an extra miserable layer. We were ugly, whether we believed it or not. Tarana Burke describes this phenomenon in a work I was introduced to during my first semester of sophomore year. Being ugly, she said, is the funny way that some people interact with those they deem physically unattractive. I know this because I am ugly. At least that's what the world finds new ways to tell me every day. For Burke, the ugliness the world attached to her was physical. For me, ugliness spoke to being unimportant, unseen, and unheard as a child. Black women have been called ugly for longer than we've been deemed human. Wow. Black girls live in a paradoxical state where they're too ugly to be loved, yet too sexualized to be cherished. Now that's a damn shame. But there is some truth to it, right? Let's keep going. America knows all too well the consequences of labeling black girls as promiscuous. There is no forgiveness or innocence awarded to black girls who simply want to be children. Black girls experience sexual assault at a higher rate than their counterparts. In fact, 1 in 4 black girls will be sexually abused before the age of 18. Now, I really don't like that that's true, but I actually believe it is true. I have to look at the stats to see what they are now and what they've been in the past, but I do think that it's true. And I'm going to just say, I have some people that I have known personally. I do mean people because it's 3 of them, all right? All of them were black women. And one of them, but I'm not even going to get into that. Let me just say it was personal, and I could have done something after I found out, but it's no longer necessary now because it's been handled. Let me just say it that way. But there's one who I did stand up for, and let's just say the backlash I got from that organization we belonged to was unbelievable. Just for me standing up asking questions to see who may or may not have molested this black woman when she was a teenager, when she was a girl. Let's keep going. I'm gonna be honest with you, before I keep reading, this hurts. Like, it hurts. It really does. Because in the same way I don't like the Candace Owenses of the world or any so-called black women who want to find an excuse to hate black men, I also don't like the fact that in this society they want to find an excuse to hate our black women and make them feel that they are not beautiful, ugly, unloved, unimportant. That is a damn lie. All right, so that's not what I'm trying to promote in my life or on this channel. Do not get it twisted. Right? Let's continue. When I was 12, being ugly meant people did not care to understand me or hear me. Nobody believed that I could be a rule-abiding student, even though I valued my education. As black girls, we didn't have the luxury of making mistakes. Now, as an almost 20-year-old woman studying at Harvard, I'm still proving myself. I find romantic relationships difficult to navigate because I am hypersexualized. The ugliness that was once attached to my body has morphed into lust. Black women exist in a space between femininity and masculinity that denies us access to either. For black women, ugly, quote unquote, means something deeper. It means that we aren't seen as fully human, and therefore we do not fit into the Eurocentric construct of gender. It also means that other people define us before we get to define ourselves. Man, yeah, that's hard. And I'm going to read this paragraph here. White society never misses a chance to remind black women that they're the most disrespected group in America. I refuse to continue the cycle of perpetuated violence against other women who look like me. So I'm done listening. To be a black girl in America is to trust that you're beautiful when the world covers the mirrors. Damn. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, that hurts. That really hurts, right? To know that a sister is writing this while she's at Harvard. I don't think she wrote this to sensationalize. I believe this is her actual perception of the world. Now, whether some of it is her perception and it might not be that bad, the point is this: that is her perception. So something needs to be done in an effort to let our sisters know that this is not how we feel about them, right? Damn. Give me just a second. All right, so here I am showing you some different type of statistics. Now they are still similar because I don't know exactly who's controlling the data. It's probably a similar ethnicity of people, but nonetheless, let's look. Most beautiful women according to science. So why do we see Beyonce on here first, right? We're gonna get into that. So let's zoom in. All right, so that's a lot of information, but I'll try to make it where you can see it some. So we know who Beyonce is, right? American singer, songwriter, and business woman, known as Queen Bey. All right, she has been widely recognized for her boundary-pushing artistry and vocal performances. All right, let's look over here. It says number 4. So I guess that's where they rate her as far as beauty is concerned in the world. It says Beyonce has a golden ratio score. So I'm learning now that this golden ratio is some kind of system or formula or methodology where they supposedly can scientifically say who's the most attractive, right? Or at least for their looking at their face to see who has the most beautiful or attractive face. So what we're gonna do is go to the page that's listing these people, right? So I'm gonna zoom back out. See, it's got Beyonce here, Bella Hadid, Scarlett Johansson, whatever. You got all these people down here. So, just a moment. All right, so this article, let's see what they're talking about. Most beautiful women in the world, it says 2023. Okay, so, yeah, looks like they put this up or either updated it on the 26th of July, 2023. So that's like a week ago. All right, let's see. It says everybody loves to pleasure their eyes by looking at beautiful things. The definition of beauty keeps evolving as time passes. So remember that. Facial beauty is the most beautiful creation of God. I can agree with that, which one could state then or adequately deduce that the woman is the most beautiful creation of God. You understand? And I believe that's true. I don't believe there's anything more beautiful on the face of this earth. And there are a lot of beautiful things here that is more beautiful than a woman. Facts. Now, as we are evolving around us with different scientific technologies, we can easily detect a proper face. Proper. All right. With beauty by a simple technique known as the golden ratio. Golden ratio, also known as phi, is a mathematical algorithm through which we can easily figure out a person's facial aesthetic, right, which is beauty. So now they got this list. Let's see who they put as number 1. They saying Jodie Connor is number 1, Zendaya number 2, Bella Hadid number 3, Beyonce number 4, so on and so forth. Let's go through this list. We're gonna go all the way through it maybe, but so they say top most beautiful women in the world overview. Number 1 is Jodie Connor. Wait a minute. No, Jodie Comer. Yeah, I was looking at that wrong. Jodie Comer. Okay. I'm not gonna be quote unquote racist. I'm not gonna hate on this woman, but guess what? In my honest opinion, she is not the number 1 most beautiful woman in the world, and not even on this list that we're looking at now. That is a fact, right? Not to me, and I'm pretty sure not to most brothers who are grown men like me, right? Number 2, Zendaya. All right, she is beautiful. Quite frankly, I think she should be up here. If you had to rate her versus this woman, Zendaya should be before her, right? Let's keep going. Bella Hadid. Okay. She has a pretty face, a beautiful face, but still, I don't think she ranks higher than Zendaya, but I certainly don't think she ranks higher than Beyonce, who's number 4. As far as this list is concerned, as of what we seen already. Who we seen already? You could put Beyonce at number one. You could put Zendaya at number two. You understand? If you just want to rate somebody. Let's keep going. Ariana Grande, nope. And I'm not trying to objectify women here. What I'm trying to do is show my sisters what's real and what's not. They got Taylor Swift. Okay, Taylor Swift might be cute, but nope. Keep it moving. Jordan Dunn. I don't even know who this sister is besides her name that I'm seeing right now. But Jordan Dunn, you could move her on up here. So you could put Beyonce, one, Jordan Dunn, number two, Zendaya, number three. You understand? So I'm doing this because, don't let me skip Kim Kardashian, who was married to Kanye West, who is now known as Ye, right? Who, after he went through a divorce and went through pure hell with her, he went and got him another woman that looked just like her, a lesser known version of her. Kim Kardashian has made herself have as many features that our sisters would have and then try to put it in light skin. That's what she's done. You understand? So, we know Kim Kardashian has sex appeal, but guess what? Who you think most of us, or I can at least speak for myself, would choose between her and Beyonce, right? Ask Jay-Z. You understand? All right, so it's going to be Beyonce all day. Now, I know this doesn't adequately reflect the everyday sister who may not have a team that's going to help her stay physically fit, eat only the best or healthiest food. You understand? Not everybody has fitness trainers and Botox and injections, makeup artists, right? That some of these people, not all, but some of them may use and have. But what I am telling you is this. Their standard of beauty is their standard of beauty, not ours. Sisters, don't you dare think or believe that you are the least desirable woman in this society. Just a moment. All right, so what I'm doing now, what I've done is intentionally do a search for the phrase dark-skinned women. Notice I didn't put beautiful black women. I didn't put beautiful dark-skinned women. I just put dark-skinned women in general because I want to do an honest survey or test of what I see and partially of myself. So please, no one be offended if I say something that is less than what you want to hear, but hopefully to your surprise, or maybe not so much your surprise, because I mean, this should be common sense to most of us. I'm going to say what I think about each image that I pull up, right? And I'm going to enlarge it. And I'm going to try to say the words that come to my mind as far as beautiful, not beautiful, attractive, not so much, with regular pictures of dark-skinned women. That's what I'm trying to do. So now, okay. Sister here, okay, kind of cute. Let's keep it going. Okay, cute / pretty. Okay, cute / neutral. Okay, pretty. Beautiful. Pretty. Pretty. Beautiful. Okay, that's Beyonce and Rihanna, so, I mean, of course, they beautiful. Pretty. Cute. Pretty. She look a little crazy because her tongue out. Pretty. Cute. Cute. Beautiful. Pretty. Now this sister's a little lighter skinned. I see the freckles there. Not trying to insult anybody. So I'm going to just kind of say neutral. You know, I don't have anything to say. I don't really know what to say here. Kind of cute. All right. All right. Kind of cute. Maybe neutral. These are just my opinions, but you just going, you'll see what I mean. On my purpose. All right. I'm going to say interesting. Maybe because of the look in her face. That's what I think they're interesting. All right. Pretty. All right. Kind of neutral. All right. Pretty. Kind of neutral. Same thing. Kind of neutral. All right. What I see here is a sister who's might be somewhat conscious. Anyway, she could just be wearing a head wrap. Anyway, neutral. Same lady there. Neutral. All right. I don't really have an opinion here either. Just like a makeup ad or something. All right, that's something else. Pretty / beautiful. Pretty. Cute. Neutral. I don't know. I don't really know what to say. Yeah. I don't really have an opinion. I mean, she's kind of cute, but, and I'm doing this in real time so you can kind of see my honest reactions. All right. All right. So, sister's here, you know, she kind of cute. Sometimes the facial expression affects it too. When people smile, it makes them prettier or more beautiful automatically. So that's some of it as well. But, so I'm not judging people overall off one image, but let's keep going. All right. Kind of cute. Kind of neutral. All right. Pretty. If she was smiling, I'd probably say she's pretty, so I don't really know. Same here. I can already tell she's gonna be cute as soon as she smiles. All right, so I think you get the point. Pretty. Now, why did I do that? And I'm still flipping through, so I'm not gonna do this in perpetuity, but I wanted to do that sincerely for a few moments to let you know that just like, well, I think men and women do this, you can only judge a person by what you see when you haven't heard them, when you haven't gotten to know them. So people do judge your outward appearance. But I want you to see this idea that a dark-skinned woman is unattractive is simply not true. You are not the least desirable, right? This woman here, I think she's more attractive than that Jodie Comer woman who they said was the most beautiful woman in the world. You see what I'm saying? Facts. I don't even know who this person is. Just a regular sister. All right? Now, this sister's hair is obviously low. And I know women like to have long hair. It makes you look more ladylike. But still, the sister has beautiful skin. You understand? I like our noses big and wide. You understand? So when people talking about we got big noses, big lips, I like our people's big noses. But that's just me. Let's keep going. All right? So another beautiful sister here. All right. This sister here is what I would call subtly beautiful. You understand? She might go unnoticed if she's quiet, but as soon as she smiles and look at you, she's going to be beautiful. Even more beautiful. So, oh yeah, this sister here, beautiful. No doubt about it. All right, so I think that's enough. So my point in doing that is this. Don't believe these lies. I guarantee you, any grown black man is going to agree with me and know what I'm talking about, right? But you may have a few self-hating brothers, right, who just want to say our sisters ain't nothing, want to say they ugly, want to say they all loudmouth. No, all of them is not loudmouth, and they certainly not ugly. What we need to do, though, is work on controlling our own narrative. We must control our own thoughts. So now I'm going to go to the Bible. Oh yeah, I'm going to go to the Bible and show you why. You're the most beautiful. Just a moment. All right, so now you see I've done another search for blonde hair. So you're going to understand why I did this very quickly. So when I look for blonde hair, you see who comes up, right? These are Caucasian women, for the most part. For the most part, because some of our women, you know, they like to do hair coloring, change the color of their hair. Hopefully, if they do that, it's just because they like to experiment or whatever. I hope they're not trying to, quote unquote, be these other women because they don't need to. Let's flip through here. All right, so you see that's a Caucasian woman. I'm trying to find the ones with their face showing. Another Caucasian woman. Another Caucasian woman. You get the point, right? And like I say, this ain't to hate on them, quote unquote, and try to say that all of them are somehow ugly. What I'm trying to show our sisters is, I don't need these other women to be ugly in order to want you. See, if we say, oh, all the other women ugly, so we just love our sisters. No, I'm telling you, there are some other women in the world who are pretty and beautiful, but I still like you the most. That's what I'm saying. Meaning you can compete and win. All right? All right, so obviously that's, Sierra? Let's see here. So you get the point. Now, let's find out something about this blonde hair, though. I want you all to know something from the Bible about this blonde hair that some of you try to have, and that some of you have been told in this United States and perhaps other parts of the world as well, that this is the standard of beauty. We're going to see if that's true or not. Just a moment. Now, this is amazing. All praise to the Most High. As you see, I'm here at, let me show you. I'm at Bible Gateway, right? So I'm still going to show you why black women are beautiful, right? Quote unquote black women, who we believe are the Israelites, but we know you're the Moors, even if you don't believe you're Israelite. I can show you that in the dictionary. So watch this here. I didn't pick this verse of the day. Check this out. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7. But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth. You see that? For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. So, I'm not trying to pretend that man doesn't look on the outward appearance, because he does. But you must know that your Creator looks on the heart, my brothers and especially sisters, right? Who are the focus of this video. See, if you have a beautiful soul, a beautiful heart, that's going to shine through in your smile. That's going to shine through your skin. Understand that. How you, what kind of spirit you have, it literally affects the beauty that comes through your face, right? So now, let's go to Leviticus. And this is going to be the last part of this video. Leviticus chapter 13. But this time, I'm going to try to switch from the King James Version to something that might be simpler English. Let's see here. Maybe the New American Standard Bible or the NLT. That's for simplicity. So we'll try the New American Standard Bible, right? Let's go down to, this is Leviticus 13, verse 30. Okay. Maybe we start at verse 29. Now, if a man or a woman has an infection on the head or on the beard, then the priest shall look at the infection, and if it appears to be deeper than the skin, and there is thin yellowish hair in it. Now, when we looked up blonde hair, and you saw all those Caucasian women that came up, right? You know that blonde hair is yellow hair, basically, right? Let's keep going. Then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a scale. It is leprosy of the head or of the beard. So, to the Israelites, God's chosen people, you see here in Leviticus, if they have an infection and it has yellow hair in it or blonde hair, that's considered unclean. See? Let's keep going. It is leprosy of the head or of the beard. But if the priest looks at the infection of the scale, and indeed it appears to be no deeper than the skin, and there is no black hair in it, then the priest shall isolate the person with the scaly infection for 7 days. Now you're being quarantined. Why? Because there is no black hair in it. So I'm just showing you, even when our people looked at the infection of leprosy, right? When the Israelites looked at the infection of leprosy, they wanted to see some black hair. They didn't want to see blonde hair, right? And on the seventh day, the priest shall look at the infection. And if the scale has not spread and no yellowish, look, no blonde hair has grown in it, and the appearance of the scale is no deeper than the skin, then he shall shave himself, but he shall not shave the scale. And the priest shall isolate the person with the scale for 7 more days. Then on the 7th day, the priest shall look at the scale, and if the scale has not spread in the skin, and it appears to be no deeper than the skin, the priest shall pronounce him clean, and he shall wash his clothes and be clean. Why am I going here? I'm just showing you that when the Israelites see some yellow or blonde hair, the first thing they think of is uncleanness, right? You see? So I'm not trying to say that the people who have blonde hair somehow infected with a disease or leprosy. I'm not saying that. I'm just showing you that if the Israelites in the Bible, God's chosen people, normally expected to have black hair, and they did not expect their normal clean hair to be yellow or blonde, then what was their standard of beauty in the Bible, right? Abraham's wife, Sarah, who was so beautiful, even at age 75, I believe. She was so beautiful that Abraham thought the king of Egypt would try to steal his wife from him. So these Israelite women, these ancient women, look, the original women, they expected their hair to be black or dark colored. You know why? Because they were not Caucasian, as everybody wants you to believe. So understand that. Now I could go on further about this, right? But I'm gonna stop this video right here. I appreciate you if you've stuck with me this long, or you may have skipped forward or backwards through it. But whatever the case may be, I hope this has been some edification to our sisters especially, but also to our brothers, right? So let your sisters know that they're beautiful, right? Let them know that they're beautiful. That's whether it's your actual sister, your daughter, your cousin, your niece, you understand, your co-worker. And when they try to change from having the perm to the natural hair, don't tell them they hair nappy when they just figuring out how to do it. The hair might look rough when they first learn it. Don't discourage sisters from having natural hair. It might take them a while to learn how to get it, right? So yeah, with that being said, yeah, just shalom, peace and blessings. And sisters, you are beautiful. And this is not a cliche. This is not a feel-good cheerleader moment. I'm telling you, despite the fact that the other women who might be Caucasians or Asians have some beautiful women also, you are the most beautiful to me. How about that? Facts. Have a good day.